lecture that Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj was giving on Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj, he mentioned that when Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj was in Vrindavan, he wasn't experiencing the prem that he was looking for. And so he went to Navadvip. And we hear that, and Srila Gurudev mentions that a lot of our acharyas went to Navadvip to attain this Krishna prem. And you also hear that without the mercy of, you hear that by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, you can enter into the pastimes of Lord Krishna. It's almost necessary to receive their mercy first. So why is that?
Why is it necessary?
Why can't I just go straight to Vrindavan and enter Radha Krishna's pastimes? Why do I?
Okay. Who else has a question? Do you have a question?
I had a similar question.
Okay,
not similar, but I was reading Srila Rakshat Sridhar Maharaj's book, and in his book said that both Radha Krishna Lila and Gaura Lila are highest, but in some ways Gaura Lila is higher because it's more expansive and there's more mercy.
More mercy. Have a question for me?
Mine's a little less, but I was just wondering what the significance of like when you like put your hand over the fire after Arati.
That's a good question. Ananda, any questions? Ananda also has questions. No?
Okay, so I already asked you, but I'll ask you because you didn't answer. So my Guru Maharaj said the word Dimahi, and then I'm going to say it, is, what is it? I meditate on you, but in mantras it means I want to serve you. So I'm wondering, is there a deeper purport of the
Okay. Easy questions. Just joking. Very exalted questions. I'll think about it for a few months and let you know.
Next season.
Can you make them all in one lecture?
So the question is really like how to receive, the question of how to access or receive entrance into Radha Krishna service and Lila. So we shouldn't think that Mahaprabhu and his Lila exists separately even from Braj Lila. We shouldn't think of Gaur Lila as a separate thing from Braj Lila. It's separate, but it's connected. There wouldn't be Gaur Lila without Braj Lila. But how are we going to access Braj Lila? Gaur Lila is the sequel, but it's the sequel that is necessary almost as the prequel. In a way, right? Without Gaur Lila, we can't understand Krishna Lila. But what is Mahaprabhu in Gaur Lila always thinking about? Krishna Lila. Who is Gauranga? Gauranga is always chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna. Krishna, we don't hear he's chanting Gaur, 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 Gaur. Maybe sometimes he's chanting Gaurangi. But Gauranga is always chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So they are connected. Gaur Lila is connected to Krishna. It's like the sequel, but it's, for us, it's important as the prequel. Gaura prema rasarnave se tarange jevadube se radha madhava antaranga. By diving deep, or you could say submerging yourself in the river of Gaura Prem Ras, the nectar, love of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. You know who's Gauranga? Little bit. Gauranga is Krishna's like expansion, and he has the mood and complexion of Radharani. And so it's described Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Nomi Gaura Swarupam. Gaura is Krishna with the mood of his beloved, the complexion and the absorption of his beloved. So he's always chanting Krishna, his own names, in the mood of Radharani. So the question was, right, why do we need to go through Gaur Lila? And then your question was, why can it be considered even superior in some ways, right?
Yeah.
It's Audarya Lila. Audarya means magnanimous, and Madhurya means sweet. So Mahaprabhu's pastimes are more Audarya, which means magnanimous. Mahaprabhu is Prem Purushottam, Supreme Personality who gives this divine love. Krishna is Lila Purushottam, who is experiencing these pastimes of divine love. But as Krishna, he is relishing; as Mahaprabhu, he is broadcasting and relishing, both. So in that sense, it can be considered in one way superior to your question, because it's both things at once. He's relishing Prem Ras Niryas, Korite Aswadan. He's relishing Prem Ras Niryas, the highest mellow of love, which is the love of Radharani for Krishna. He's relishing that love of Radharani for Krishna. So as Krishna, he is experiencing blissful pastimes with his beloveds, but he is not experiencing their love for him and their moods of love for him. So in that sense, you could say Gaur Lila can be considered superior, because that thing that Krishna cannot do, he is doing as Gauranga. As Krishna, what is he doing? He is performing pastimes with the Brija Gopis, with the Brijabasis, but is he experiencing their love for him, the sweetness of his own beauty? It's described, sugar cannot taste itself. So Krishna is so sweet, like the sweetest type of sugar candy. But he comes as Mahaprabhu to taste that sugar candy sweetness. So therefore it's more advanced, because it's enabling Krishna himself to relish the sweetness of Braj Lila in a way that he does not as his own form of Krishna. It's not to say that Krishna is not complete, he's always complete. But he's in the aspect of Vishai. Vishai means the object of worship. And as Mahaprabhu, he's the performer, the abode of worship. Ashray. And so as the ashray, or shelter, or abode of worship, of love, that personality experiences more bliss and more happiness. It's unlimited. As we heard about Radharani, Radhika's love is unlimited and ever expanding. And so Krishna comes as Mahaprabhu to relish that, to serve that, to take shelter of that, to experience it. But for us, for sadhakas, if we try to go directly to Radha Krishna, we're almost bound to fall short. Because Krishna himself came to teach us how to approach him as Mahaprabhu. So how can we neglect Mahaprabhu? Hari Nam Aparad. You can commit offenses while chanting Hari Nam, but Tomar, it said, Gaur Nam, Gaur Dam, Aparad Vichar to Naire. There's no consideration of offense. Chanting Gauranga's names and staying in Gauranga's Dham, worshipping Gauranga. Then you can become completely purified, connected, and achieve eligibility to enter into Braj Lila. And strength and qualification. So we are, but at the same time, we shouldn't think of them as separate. Gaur Lila is leading us to Braj Lila. So when we worship Gaur Nitai, we pray even. We pray to Lord Nityananda. Heno Nitai Vinay Bhai, Radhika Charana Pai. Heno Nitai Vinay Bhai, Radha Krishna Nahi Pai. Without taking shelter of Lord Nityananda, who is Baladev, appearing again in Gaur Lila as Nityananda. Without Nityananda or Baladev, we cannot approach Radha Krishna. But still, we are told to approach Radha Krishna. The objective is still given. Right? Heno Nitai Vinay Bhai. Without Nitai, Radha Krishna Paitinai, we cannot approach Radha Krishna. Drida Kori Nitai Bhai. Therefore, tightly hold the lotus feet of Nityananda. To hold the lotus feet of Nityananda, then you can go to Krishna. So this is all our scriptures, all our Vaishnavacharyas have sung, have written about this. So it's very clear. But it's also that the goal is Pancham Purushartha. The highest ultimate goal of human life is what? Krishna Prem. Relationship and love for Sri Krishna. Within that there's Gaur Prem. But Gaur Prem, Krishna Prem is the same Prem. Because Gaur is Krishna. We have one song. Jai Gaur, say Krishna, say Jagannath. That Krishna is Gaur. That Gaur is Jagannath. They're all the same person. We are not worshipping different personalities. Worshipping one person. They appear in many ways, but it's one. So we take shelter of Navadvip Dham, and when we take shelter of Navadvip Dham, we can understand that this is actually Radharani's place. Navadvip. Jaya Navadvipa Nava Pradipa Prabhava Pasanda Gajaika Singha Swanama Sankhya Japa Sutradhari Chaitanya Chandra Bhagavan Murari. Navadvip is 9 islands. Why is it 9 islands? Antardvip is Radharani's island, and the 8 other islands are the Astasakhis islands. Antardvip is Radharani's place, Mayapur. Mayapur means where Krishna's highest Shakti resides. Mayapur. Antardvip. Then Simantadvip, Godrumdvip, Madhudvip, Koladvip, Rudradvip, Janadvip, Modadrumdvip, Rudradvip, Atmika, Rudradvip. These 8 other islands are the places of Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, Champaklata, Rangadevi, Sudevi, and Vileka, and Tungavidya. So these islands are Radharani's and her Sakhi's places. So that's why I said, don't think it's separate from Braj Lila. Krishna himself comes to take shelter of Madhurya Ras here. But in Gaur Lila, Madhurya Ras is present and Audharya Lila is present. The magnanimous pastimes of bringing jivas, it's the whole purpose of the pastime is for Krishna to relish it, his internal reasons for appearing, and also to give it through Harinam Sankirtan, Prem Nam Sankirtan. So therefore it can be considered necessary for us to properly approach and understand and really enter into the service of Radha Krishna. Because he came specifically to help us enter into that. He came for that purpose. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, he came for that purpose. And he came to experience it himself. Therefore, we should take shelter of Gaur Nityananda to enter into Braj Lila. But they are instructing us and directing us towards Braj Lila. Like when Mahaprabhu met the 6 Goswamis. Why I'm saying this is we shouldn't think, oh, okay, now we'll just worship Gaur Nitai, but what do Gaur Nitai want? When Mahaprabhu met the 6 Goswamis, what did he do? He sent them to Vrindavan. Go to Vrindavan, discover the pastime places of Radha Krishna. When Mahaprabhu took sannyas, what did he want to do? Say Bresh Koile Vrindavana Giya. He took that vesh, that attire, and went to Vrindavan. Why did he take sannyas? To go to Vrindavan. Mukunda Sevam Vrata Koile Nirdharan. Say Bresh Giya Vrindavana. Taking that attire, he went towards Vrindavan. So his mood was always towards Vrindavan, and he sent the Goswamis to Vrindavan. When Nityananda blessed Kaviraj Goswami, Kaviraj Goswami's brother was disrespecting Nityananda, and therefore Kaviraj Goswami left the place. You know the story. And when Nityananda blessed him, what did he bless him with? Darshan of Vrindavan. He said, go to Vrindavan. And he gave him darshan of Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan, and he went to Vrindavan. And so this is a very important conception, is that Gaur Lila is leading us to service in Braj Lila. But as Vaishnavas in this line, our ultimate aspiration is that we may serve both in Gaur Lila and in Braj Lila. Just like we say Radha Krishna is one tattva, we cannot separate them. Similarly, Gaur Lila, Braj Lila, it's like one, they come together. It's like a cassette tape with A side, B side. It's one cassette, 2 sides. So that's why in Gaur Lila, Braj Lila is always present. When Mahaprabhu jumped in the ocean, he was experiencing Braj Lila. When he was in Navadvip, Braj Lila. Braj Lila is present, hidden there. The 9 islands are predominated by Radharani and the 8 Sakhis. That's why in Mayapur, who are the deities there at Mayapur temple by Swami Prabhupada? Ashtasakhis. Why are the Ashtasakhis present there? Because this is their place. Are there any other temples of Swami Prabhupada where the Ashtasakhis are? I don't think so. So Mayapur is, and Navadvip is the Astasai. Godrumdvip, Lalita's place. So we go and we take shelter of, and that's why Lita Devi is in charge of Kirtan. Godrumdvip is for Kirtan, Namke Bhakti. So this is the glories of Navadvip Dham. Jaya Navadvipa, Navapradeepa. These 9 islands are like 9 lamps. Prabhava Pasanda Gajaika Singha. They are defeating the elephant of atheism. But Pasai is the lion defeating the elephant of atheism. Swanama Sankya Japa Sutradhari, and that Chaitanya Chandra appears chanting Krishna's names, his own names. And so therefore, when we see Gauranga, what do we see? Radha Krishna. Ramananda Roy, he was having a discussion with Mahaprabhu for a few days. He couldn't understand who is this personality. He was praying. And then Mahaprabhu revealed himself as Radha Krishna. And Ramananda Roy was astonished seeing the beautiful form of Radha Krishna in this sannyasi. So who is Mahaprabhu? When we see Mahaprabhu, what do we see? We should see Radha Krishna. But what do we see? Mahaprabhu's calling us in to enter into Braj Lila. So it's like saying, how do you go into a house? Do you break through the wall or do you use the door? How do we go into Braj Lila? We use the door. Mahaprabhu is welcoming us in. He's the entrance into Braj Lila. He's saying, come inside. Don't need to go around Mahaprabhu. We take shelter of Mahaprabhu, and then he reveals himself as Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna pranaya vikritir ladini shakti rasmad ekatmanav abhibhuvi pura deha bhedam gatoto chaitanyakyam prakatam aduna tadbhayam chaitamapyam radha bhava dhyuti sugalitam nomis gaura swarupam. Who is Mahaprabhu? Radha Krishna pranaya vikritir ladini shakti rasmad ekatmanav. They are one. Radha Krishna are one. They take 2 forms as Radha Krishna, and then they take 1 form again as Mahaprabhu. But they are one. They appear in 2 forms to experience pastimes of meeting, and then they appear in 1 form to experience pastimes of separation. How astonishing. In 2 forms, when separated, they experience meeting and separation, but meeting. And then as Mahaprabhu is 1 form, they experience separation. He's always calling out, Hey Radhe, Hey Brajadevike, Hey Lalite, Chananda Sutankata, always calling out to Radha Krishna, to the gopis. So this is Gaura Lila. Gaura Lila is giving us entrance into Braj Lila. But all the Goswamis, Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they go to, so you made that point, Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj, in Vrindavan he was not experiencing that same ecstasy. When Nityananda came to Vrindavan, he was saying, where's Kanai, where's Kanai? And the answer was coming back, Nai, Nai, Nai. Kanai is not here. Kanai has gone to Nadia. Kanai has gone to Navadvip. Who went to Navadvip? Not Mahaprabhu, Krishna. Then he took the name Mahaprabhu. He didn't change. Krishna didn't become someone else. It's still Krishna. He just took on a different color. Like a different skin tone. Right? A different avatar. Means a different, you could say, appearance. But it's still Krishna. Therefore, when Nityananda came, where is Kanai? Where is Kanai? Nai, go to Navadvip. He is there. So Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj Acharyas, when they're looking for, it's described that in Braj Mandal you meditate on Gaur Mandal, and in Gaur Mandal you meditate on Braj Mandal. So when Vaishnavas are in Braj Mandal, they meditate on Gaur Mandal and want to be there. And in Braj Mandal, they meditate on Gaur. In Gaur Mandal, they meditate on Braj Mandal. You can't separate the two. Cannot separate. But where do we start? When Gurudev came to the Math, he started in Navadvip. Took shelter in Navadvip. One day, Frankie, you have to go to Navadvip, okay? And to Vrindavan. Malini will take you.
You hear that?
Okay?
No problem, come.
Navadvip and Braj and Jagannath Puri. These 3 dhams are our life. Especially Navadvip and Braj. When you really understand Navadvip, you'll see that Navadvip is Vrindavan. No different. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings songs in Gaudiya. All these songs we're singing, written in Godrum, Navadvip. What songs did he write? Chintamani Moy Radha Kundatata. Krishna Virahe, Radhikara Dasa, Dekite Deki, Vrishabhanu Sutta, Palyadasi Kori, all in Godrum he's wrote. So therefore, what was his vision? In Godrum, he was only seeing Swananda Sukara Kunj. This is Swananda Sukara Kunj is in Radha Kund also. Therefore, Mayapur, what is Mayapur in Braj? Antardvip. Antardvip in Braj is Seva Kunj. Radha Krishna sitting surrounded by the Sakhis, performing their sweet pastimes, singing, dancing, discussing, joking, laughing, playing. This is Antardvip. So Antardvip, another name for Antardvip is Radhavan, Radha's forest, Radha's stali, Radha's place. Vaishnavas describe, Gurudev describes when Radharani, they were in separation from Sri Krishna. They went in the river Jamuna, they flowed down the river Jamuna, went to the Ganga and came out in Navadvip. And manifested this place Navadvip. Therefore Krishna, when he wanted to appear as Gauranga, he took shelter of Navadvip, Radharani's place. And in Navadvip, that ras, that mood of Madhurya ras is very fixed and present, without any mixture. So therefore, when you Gokshadas Babaji Maharaj and others, they went to Navadvip and they performed their worship in Navadvip. So for us here, this is also, our mood is that it's trying to serve that Dham and take shelter of Gaur Nityananda, Guru Vaishnav, and serve Braj Lila in Gaur Lila. So here our mood should be like, we're serving in Gaur Lila and we're serving Braj Lila. Even Braj Lila, without Mahaprabhu, we would not know it. That's why we say, like the question was, how can we, it seems almost like necessary to go through Gaur Lila, because our acharyas made that mood. But without Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we wouldn't know any Radha Krishna pastime places. We wouldn't have Radha Kund, Sham Kund. We wouldn't have Govinda, Gopinath, Madan Mohan, any Krishna temples in Braj. Without Mahaprabhu, they're all gone. Mahaprabhu sent the Goswamis and they manifested Krishna pastime places. Mahaprabhu himself manifested Radha Kund, Sham Kund. So even now, we wouldn't have Braj Mandal Parikrama without Mahaprabhu. And we wouldn't have Braj Mandal Parikrama without Mahaprabhu's associates, Gurudev and our Vaishnavas. Because we shouldn't think of, who is Gurudev here? He is Mahaprabhu's associate. In this form. In this form, he's Radha Krishna's associate. But also this form and that form is the same. It just requires us to develop the vision to see it. So we take shelter of Mahaprabhu and pray to his lotus feet. Gaurangera Dudipada. Meditate on Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. And that Mahaprabhu is very kind, very sweet. He is Krishna, but he is not crooked. He's very loving, very sweet, very gentle, very soft. He will never cheat anyone. Krishna is a trickster. But when he takes Radhika's mood and her complexion, then he becomes very soft and sweet. And anyone can take hold of the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu gives all love and affection. Mahaprabhu is more love than 10 million mothers. This is what Sasha describes. Vatsalya Matri Koti. It's a description of Mahaprabhu. He has the love of 10 million mothers. So we take shelter of Mahaprabhu then. Like a loving parent, he will nourish us and nurture us in our process of devotion. We have nothing to worry about. Just meditate on Mahaprabhu. When we chant Mahamantra is worshipping Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu inspired us like this to chant. So Mahamantra is also Mahaprabhu. Radha Krishna, Ek-Swarup, one form. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Vinatvam Nama Namina. Nam Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya. This Nam Chintamani, touchstone of Nam, is Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. Pure consciousness. And therefore Krishna Lila, some people argue, Chaitanya Lila is only this world. There's no eternal abode of Chaitanya. This is false. Mahaprabhu is his eternal Dham, Svetadvip. And Gurudev says, our Vaishnava Acharyas say we can serve there. And Mahaprabhu has Ashtakali Lila, eightfold daily pastimes. Krishna has eightfold daily pastimes. They both happen, and we can serve in both. Therefore, both are equally important, like two sides of a cassette. We shouldn't listen just it's like listening to the first half of a story, but not the conclusion. Gaur Lila is the conclusion to Krishna Lila. And therefore, we study Bhagavad Gita, we study Bhagavatam, and we must study Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then we can understand Krishna Lila properly. Okay? Tirtha is okay. Anything more?
I just thought about what Siddhanta Maharaj said during the Julan Yatra festival, that Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, but Rupa Manjari is not Rupa Goswami. Does that also tie into that or no?
It's a little different tattva, but similar. A little different. Radha Krishna is with Mahaprabhu completely, and Mahaprabhu is with Krishna. You cannot separate them.
So I heard that I came late, so I don't want to say anything that's maybe already been spoken, but that Mahaprabhu Lila is like fructifying that which has not been necessarily fully fulfilled in Radha Krishna Lila. Even Jarasandha and Dantavakra and Shishupal become Jagamare, so they actually get Gaur praying rather than just be absolved in his body, coming into Krishna's body. So there's like an extra level of attainment that seems to happen with even the associates. Hanuman, Murari Gupta. There's a special magnanimity that Darya Shakti that's coming in Gaur Lila. I don't know if you can elaborate on that kind of like.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that at our Darya mood.
Okay, so that makes sense.
The idea of it like it's continuation of Krishna Lila. It's like, for example, generally we think Krishna Lila is just Krishna Lila, but Matsya Lila, Kurma, Varaha, Vaman, Kalki, Parshuram, it's all Krishna Lila. Keshavadrita, Rama Sarira, Keshavadrita, Kurma Sarira, Keshavadrita, Varaha Sarira. It's all Krishna Lila. That's why when Swami Prabhupada painted them, they all have peacock feathers. To remind you, it's Krishna. Don't think it's someone else. But the most important is Mahaprabhu in Krishna Lila. Krishna Lila, it's Bhagavatam describes by Sukadeva Goswami. All these topics are important. Vacha Vibhuti Natu Paramartha. But without the 10th canto, it's not important. It's all important as a lead up to Krishna Lila. And it's all also part of Krishna Lila. Gita Govinda, he begins glorifying all the avatars as Keshava Dhrita Surira, as there's the manifestation of Lord Keshav, Krishna. But they lead to Krishna, and then ultimately Mahaprabhu. And so Mahaprabhu is the final conclusion. Therefore we take shelter of Mahaprabhu, and he is so merciful and magnanimous that that in this incarnation he never harmed anyone. He gave them prema in that same form, same body. He delivered them. Where in Krishna Lila, he would kill the demons and then they get liberation. But in Gaur Lila, he didn't lift a weapon and harm anyone. He's so merciful. All the other incarnations, generally, they will kill the demons and protect Dharma. But Mahaprabhu protects Dharma and liberates the demons. He's so merciful. He doesn't want to harm anyone. He just helps them, purifies them in the same form. Okay, Frankie's question. Arati is very special. Arati is the process of symbolically offering all of our senses and the objects of all the senses to Krishna and then taking his remnants. It's prasad. And that purifies the senses and sublimates our desires into his transcendental relation and service. So offering incense is the sense of smell. Alright? Offering ghee lamp is the sense of sight. Okay, conch shell, sound, fan, touch, and also cloth. So we're offering taste, the water. We're offering all of the flowers also for fragrant scent. So what is Arati? Arati is a way to offer all of our senses, our entire bodies to Krishna. And then whatever tendencies towards material life remain, they can gradually be purified and engaged properly. The senses are not a bad thing. Like in this world, we're offering flowers, nice fragrance, incense, nice fragrance, beautiful ghee lamp. These are all nice things. Fan, peacock feather, very beautiful things. So the body is also a very beautiful thing. It's a magical thing. It's God's creation. So what should we do with our body? We should offer it to him with love. That is Arati. Rati means love and attraction. Within love, there's many like parts. And Rati means that attractive power of love. Like there's prem, but Rati means attraction. Like when you are drawn to something. If you've ever been drawn to something, that is Rati. Oh, like you're being pulled towards it like a magnetic energy field. That is Rati. Arati means offering of that, Rati, love for Krishna. So when we're offering Arati, each article we're offering, we're trying to offer that sense. Let me not be attracted to other things. We're not, like I was saying last night, spiritual life isn't a negative process, it's a positive process. We're not like sadomasochists. Oh, don't eat. Don't breathe. Don't smell anything. Don't talk to anybody. Don't have a relationship with anyone. I'm bad. I'm sinful. I'm horrible. No, it's not a process. Everything is good. Learn how to use it right. Everything is good. Nothing is bad. Nothing is bad in this world. What is bad? Everything. Flowers are nice. Birds and bees are nice. Trees are nice. Moon is nice. Sun is nice. Water is nice. Rivers are nice. Everything is nice for Krishna. Bad things are only what we make it bad. People make it bad. And then karma, because of our sin, our violent activities, our bad activities, then we get the reactions to that, and then we see this is bad, that is bad, this is bad. But nothing is bad. Everything is good when it's in its rightful dharma, its rightful function, its rightful nature. And so, what are flowers meant for? For giving Radharani, and for Krishna, for making garlands. So our body should also be like that. Decoration. Not decoration, but an offering. We dress nicely, we bathe, we clean ourselves. Why? All to offer ourselves in love to Krishna. That's why the gopis' love is the highest. That's why we worship the gopis here. Because they offer themselves completely. All their senses. Completely offered to Krishna without any condition. Just completely offering themselves, their hearts, their life, their soul, their body, their everything to Krishna. Whereas in other rasas, other mellows, there's some limitation on how much they can offer. And so Arati is like that. And when we take the lamp, it's like we're receiving Krishna's blessing. What is this blessing to us? Acceptance. Krishna accepts me. He loves me. We're taking that. And the ghee lamp, why the ghee lamp is because you were asking about the ghee lamp. Why is the ghee lamp extra special? Incense we smell naturally. So we're taking it. When you offer the incense, naturally you smell it. Flowers, we offer to Krishna. In some temples we are given a chance to smell his remnants. But the lamp specifically is special because it represents that flame of passion or love. And so we're offering our love to Krishna, and then we're receiving his love in return. So we're taking it. We're taking it to our head and taking it to our heart. May our intelligence reside in Krishna. May our heart reside with Krishna. That's why we take the ghee lamp. So all these gestures have import or reason or meaning. It's helpful if we understand. Even if we don't understand, it's beneficial. We should think when we're doing Arati of Thakurji, not only we are doing Arati, all the devatas come. In temples in Jagannath Puri, Chakratirtha, I would go for Arati every day, usually in Puri. It's very nice how they do Arati there. They would never let you stand in the middle or on the threshold. Most Indian temples you see, when you walk up the steps, there'll be like another step. And they don't let you step on it. To step over it. Why? That's the Devata's step, the demigods. And they don't let you stand in the middle because they say all the devas are coming to do Arati and to offer their love to Krishna. All the demigods, the god of thunder, Indra, the god of fire, Agni, the god of the wind, Vayu, the god of the ocean, Varuna. All the demigods come and offer their love to Krishna because they know he is the Supreme Lord. They offer their respect. So we as small part and parcels of that Sri Krishna. Why is everything considered good? Because everything comes from him. Fire, air, wind, ether, earth, everything comes from him, so we should offer it back to him. Radharani looks very beautiful, Krishna, very nice Shringar. I like the pink flowers in the hair, it's very nice. Matches the pink, right? Very nice. So we try to offer everything nice to them. This is bhakti. Everything that we have that's nice, we offer to him. But what's nice? This body he gave us is very nice. It's very good. It's not bad.
I heard Arati is also Panchabhuta, like the earth, the fire, the water
Yeah.
that's in our body.
Yeah,
All the elements.
that's why I said it's all the objects of the senses and all the senses, and those are connected to the elements. This is called Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga means how you classify the material elements. So there's earth, water, fire, air, ether. And those correspond to the senses and the objects of the senses. Okay, so earth, the sense of smell in the nose, right? And to incense. And fire is to the eyes. That's why the ghee lamp represents sight. And it also represents prem, love, because it's Radharani describes this, that love is like a lamp in the heart. So it's fire is representing the sight and the eyes, right? And you have water, the conch shell offering water. So all these things are connected. So we're offering all of ourselves to Krishna through this performance of Arati. And then when we take the remnants, at the end of the Arati we throw the water also, right? People think, what is this? Very strange. Why? Because it's taking Krishna Prasad. When we take Krishna Prasad, we think, oh, okay, it's like blessed, it's pure, I can eat it without making sin. That's one understanding. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that whatever you eat, if you haven't offered it, it's considered to be sinful, meaning it gives you karmic reaction. Because you're eating some other living entity, whether it's food, grain, vegetable, or animal, anything. It's still another entity, body. But if you offer it to Krishna, it becomes purified. But Krishna says, only offer me certain things. But that's like a Vaidhi Bhakti understanding, rules and regulations, and we're afraid of sin. We're afraid of bad reactions. But prasad, devotees, we don't think, oh, I'm eating prasad because otherwise it's sinful not to eat something. That's not our mood. We love Krishna, therefore, if we have love for someone, we want to take their remnants. It's a very intimate kind of romantic ideal, actually. Radharani only takes Krishna Prasad. Why? Krishna tasted it. She wants to receive. When it's tasted by him, she wants to taste what it tastes like after he tastes it. So that's Prasad. So it's about love, not about fear. Oh, if I don't offer it to Krishna, it's not, oh, I'm going to commit sinful activity. Pop. That's one understanding. But our mood is, I want to offer it to Krishna so I can taste his remnants, his prasad. So Arati is also his prasad. Therefore it's very sweet. Okay, last question. And then we'll get to our topic for the day. Just joking. I was going to read about Lalita Vishaka and Rupa and Rati. But it's good. I didn't have much time. I was fighting on the phone and doing so many things today. Paperwork, books. But it's nice to actually collect some verses about Rati Manjari and some stories about Rati Manjari. So it's something, it's proper. You have to spend a little time properly to compile things. It's here and there. So there's many nice stories about Rati Manjari. So I was thinking we can have some stories about Rati Manjari, her qualities, her glories, and her pastimes, and similarly for Rupa Manjari, and then Lalita and Vishaka also. And gradually we can make relation with them. This is Arati. We want to make a relationship with Krishna and his associates, and that relationship then will completely fulfill and satisfy us. We don't need to look outside anymore. We can find it inside. So Ananda asked this question about Vidmahe. What is Vidmahe? So Ananda always likes to ask questions about Gayatri. This means she's good, very advanced student, very focused. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur he was very eager to find about all the information regarding Gayatri mantra, Kam Gayatri specifically. He said, if I don't understand it, then I'll give up my life. So, don't give up your life yet, Ananda. Krishna Thakurji.
Yet.
Radharani is very merciful. She herself revealed the meaning of Gayatri to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. When Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, her own dear maidservant, was trying to understand this Kam Gayatri, then Radharani revealed it and the book it could be found in. And later on, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote a commentary on Kam Gayatri called Gayatri Mantrartha Deepika, or the light that reveals the meaning of the Gayatri. So, really to understand the full Gayatri, it's probably something we should have a full series of lectures on, instead of one part or another part, and we can do that. It may have to be like a more select class, but we're fortunate that Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and our other acharyas have written commentaries. And so I was working on this for a year and a half, and it's one of those, sometimes you're trying to load too many things at once, and it's like loading. It's at 95%, but it's stuck there since a year. So it's stuck on that loading cycle because I haven't been able to give it enough time. So the Gayatri book is pending. But it's hard to go into one word without the whole thing. But in general, it means to, it's like you were saying, Dhimahi, it's referring to relationship and loving worship. When we think of worship, we shouldn't think of I'm doing puja. Worship means offering of one's love and heart again. That's proper worship. Adoration. Bhaj. Bhaj we translate as worship, but the root of bhakti, devotional service or worship, is bhaj. That is what we translate as worship, but what it really means is to serve with love. Bhajadathriti sevayam, to serve with love. That is bhaj. And therefore, service is the natural action of real love. If we love something, like Vrindavan has so much love and affection for Tulsi Devi, so he serves her. If you didn't have any affection or respect, you wouldn't serve. Oh, whatever happens, happens. But you have respect and love, therefore you perform worship, which is service. So that's Dhimahi, meditation with love. Vidmahi means also to know. But knowledge, there's different kinds of knowledge. The knowledge we're interested in is Seva Paripati. So it's referring to the knowledge of how to serve them. That's the topmost knowledge. It's called Vigyan, realized knowledge. To know someone means to know how to fully please them through your service. It's very interesting. Seva Paripati, all the processes of loving exchange and loving service, and offering of that, with all paraphernalia, with all moods. That is to know. So Radharani is Gyaneshwari. She has the topmost knowledge of Seva Paripati. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitavi Stabirya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabi. She is Kalabi, means she has the highest Vidmahe. No one can compare to Radharani's Vidmahe, because she knows best how to please and serve Shri Krishna. So this is what we're meditating upon. And this is one understanding, one angle, but if we have time or if we have, desire, we can talk about this. I know Katyani Vrat's coming and we're going to be doing some Bhagavad Gita study. And also, I was reading today a little bit about the pastime of Katyani Vrat, which is nice to discuss. So, these are our topics coming up. I was thinking in the beginning of Kartik, we were talking about different pastimes relating to Thakurji, and so I wanted to spend some time with Lita Vishaka and Rupa and Rati, and so I think that's important. But these are just a few things. Any other questions, comments, things to discuss? Anything, Frankie?
No, just thank you for taking time this week
Very well.
to help me. Just
Anytime. Very well. It's nice to have you here. Okay. I was also going to talk about the Maha Mantra, each 2 syllables, each 2 words, 4 syllables, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. They all correspond to one of the Ashtakali Lila parts, and also levels of sadhana and development in sadhana. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes that in Bhajan Rahasya. It's very interesting. And while meditating on these, we can kind of go through meditational process, meditating on the Maha Mantra and these different stages and these different pastimes. So it's a good way to be absorbed while chanting. This is the confidential secrets given to how to chant and how to advance in the process by taking shelter of kirtan or japa. Okay, so we should think that we should value what we have as a thing that's very special and that can be offered. It's very nice. Therefore, we take care of our bodies as a temple for Krishna and offer it for Krishna. And then within that temple, it's like within a temple you want to have a garden. And in the garden you want to have beautiful flowers and you want to offer those flowers to Krishna. So in the temple of the body, what is the beautiful flower to offer? That is the heart and the soul. So you have to water that, serve that, and let it blossom. And so the body and the environment that you put that, it can be like that plant, that creeper, that vessel, in which the true form of the self can blossom within. The body is the temple. Doesn't mean it's the self. The body is a vehicle, but in Bhakti it's a temple. It's like a chariot that's a moving temple. Ratha Yatra. That's the body, Ratha Yatra. The temple. You don't walk on the Rath cart. Why? Because it's auspicious as a temple. It's Anantashesh body actually. So the body is like a temple that we use and take care of nicely. We mark it every day with tilak. This is showing it's a temple of Krishna. But within that temple, there should be a deity. There's no temple without a deity. What is the deity in the temple? Radha Krishna, Mahaprabhu, together the same. And in that temple, who is serving those deities? That soul, who we truly are. But we haven't realized that yet. So what do? We take care of it. And we water it, and we nourish it, and we give it nutrients and spiritual protein, medicine, and then we hope that it will blossom. That's what we're trying to seek. Fully blossomed consciousness, which means complete self-realization. And to get that self-realization, we also have to get God-realization, because that self is in relationship with God. Now, Deva Devam Archayat. You cannot perform real archan of a divine being without developing a divine quality. Now, Deva Devam Archayat. So how do we develop that divine quality? It said, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Krayam Indriya Sevan Mukhi Jivadosvayam Evas Puratteda. It's another verse that we don't talk about so often in regards to the Swarupa of the Jiv and its inherent bhakti. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi. The name of Krishna is transcendental, but Navavet Grayam Indriya, it doesn't appear in mundane senses. Sevan Mukhi Jivado, by a life filled with service. Sevan Mukh Jivan. Then Swayameva, of its own accord, Spuratteda, it sprouts or manifests. Spuratteda means to appear. There's another verse Prabhuji loves to quote. Iha yasya herer dasya karmana manasagira nikla svatpisartha jivan mukta sa uchate. How to be liberated in this body, in this own, your very life. It's jivan mukta. Jivan mukta means someone who is liberated even while living in this body. How do we do that? Iha yasya harir dasya karmana manasagira. When the mind, the actions, the senses, everything is engaged in Hari's service, then we become liberated even while being in this own very same body. So that's why we say Diksha Kale Krishna Kare Atma Samarpana. When we take Diksha, this initiation in Diksha mantras, and we meditate and worship Krishna through these mantras, then at that time Krishna accepts us as his own. And Se Deha Karitar Chiranandamoy. That time the body of the devotee becomes transcendentalized. And therefore it can worship Krishna. Nadeva Deva Marchayet. That's why to worship the deity you take Diksha. Because then you're considered to have the prerequisite qualities by which enables you to worship. And therefore, what did Ambarish Maharaj do? Tad Britya Gatra Sparsha Anga Sangamam. Touch the bodies of the devotees because they're considered transcendental, not mundane. Therefore, we offer pranam to all devotees. Jai Deshe Vadeshe Boise Gorangeregan. Dandavat Pranam Tirtha Prabhu Vrindavan Prem Manani. All the devotees, Dandavat Pranam. You are Krishna's party now. You've taken Krishna Diksha, therefore you are Krishna's party. It's very exalted. So therefore, we want to serve that, take care of that temple, to worship Sri Krishna there, and hope and strive towards that blossoming of the true self identity. Panchakalpadurvasya kripa sindhuvircha pitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. For Premanandi Haribo. Dukkotaigo Premoy and Arati. Okay, when we finish that temple room, at least once a week we have to have Sankirtan practice. Kirtan means Krishna Kirtana Gana Nardana Puro. Singing and dancing. This is our sadhana bhakti. Okay?
What is it? No. Yamuna
Sangita
Purine.
Sikivo.
No, there's a Nardana. It's in Yamuna Purine.
Okay, so we have to practice doing kirtan, not just sitting but also standing.